Friday, May 30th, 2025. And today on The View, they had a couple of hot topics that drive me insane. One is apparently the Democratic National Committee is going to pay 20 million bucks for some consultants to teach them how to talk to young men. And then they platformed Ben Shapiro, massive moron, talking about age and people who are older trying to look younger, and then gave all these random sort of examples of it, which is just fucking ridiculous. And I'm gonna mix these two hot topics together to one response because to me they're kind of connected. And stupid Amy Alyssa Fairfowler Griffin talking about the Democratic uh, National Committee hiring this consultant, just spewing this bullshit about this is what the Democrats need to do. And again, it's more strategy bullshit that like stupid pundits and consultants are paid that actually don't help. And I seriously just don't want to hear from her anymore about what the Democrats need to do. You are in a fucking fascist party. I don't want to hear anything from you. Anyway, aside from that anger, if the Democrats want to reach young men, let the young men speak. It's that easy. You don't need $20 million. Follow Jack Schlossberg on Instagram. He's literally telling you what to do on a weekly basis. And also saying that nobody wants to listen to him. But he's fucking right, because he's the right age and he knows how to get people engaged. Why are you kicking David Hogg out? You got Maxwell Frost. You've got a couple of firebrands in the Kentucky legislature. There are young men in the party that if you let them speak, they will reach other young men. And, by the way, not a young man, but you fucking muzzled Tim Walz. Coach Walz. Well, all he does is talk to young men all day. This is why it's infuriating and why, this whole ageism problem in the Democratic Party where they just won't let go of power, and this is where we're going to talk about ageism, is so fucking frustrating. And it's like, you don't need, and I don't know who said it. I don't know which one of them said it. One of them said that, the Republicans have one voice and it's just Donald Trump's voice, and the Democrats have all these other things going on. No, it's okay. The whole point is that it's a big tent, right? And there's room for everybody. We do have to stop with the purity tests. It's the single issue things. Like you're never going to get everything out of one candidate, but you need to be able to own up to that. And as much, I'm going to throw in Anthony Weiner. And as much as I appreciated what Anthony Weiner had to say about being honest and real, and part of the reason that Donald Trump is successful is that he's authentic, oddly enough. He's a liar, but that's authentically him. And I think that's attractive to people. So if we gave up on the consultants and just let people go out and talk, it might be helpful. We might get a better response from people if you just let people be authentic and not mince every word. And that whole idea about being told what pronouns to use and who to, fuck all that. The only reason that becomes an issue is because the Republicans make one and then we fall for the bait and be like, fucking no. It doesn't need to be a debate. And anybody who's going to throw trans people under the bus because it's not politically expedient is not going to get my vote. Like, fuck you. There's room for everybody. And it doesn't mean over anybody else. That's the whole point of it. We have poor communicators because no one is actually being authentically themselves. And I think that that's where they fucked up Tim Walz. That's where Kamala started her campaign a little more authentic, and it clearly got pulled back in the 90 days that she had. But that's also fucking frustrating. Because their opportunities are there if you would just let the next generation of people and the next generation of leaders actually lead. And not only you're not doing that, you're not listening to them, you're preventing them, you're silencing them. And that's really fucking frustrating. So, me, as a soon to be 55-year-old lifelong Democrat, is done with the Democratic Party. I'm so sick of this corporate bullshit. And you'll never get another fucking dime from me if you're going to go spend it on consultants trying to learn how to talk to young people. When there are young people in the party that can talk to the young people. That's the whole point of having surrogates and cheerleaders. And Anthony Weiner, fuck you. Yes, we should be able to provide people the opportunity to redeem themselves. But no, not you. At least not in a political role. And he was likening, electing someone to office and being truthful in that way, or running for a campaign and being truthful that way, to some sort of personal relationship. No, in a personal relationship, there's love and there's commitment and all that kind of thing. In a political relationship, we're literally electing you to represent us. I don't want to use the expression "you work for us," but that's what it is. You are our representative, and I don't want to be represented by someone I can't trust to not text a fucking 15-year-old about sex. Like, I would think that we would be able to do better than sexual assailants in the party, but we just seem to have a ton of them, and we keep lifting them up, and I don't understand why. We don't need Cuomo. We don't need Wiener, Carlos Danger. And I'm tired of these same politicians recycling themselves around. You fuck off. We're done. We need a new generation of leaders, and that doesn't necessarily mean young people. We just need a generation that isn't in the corporate fucking purse. That's what we're looking for. That whole idea of draining the swamp. And one of them, somewhere on today's episode, they said, Democrats are fighting for the status quo. And it's not like we're not saying you can't fix government. We're saying you can't just go in with a fucking chainsaw. And that's part of the problem too. And I do agree with that, whoever said it. We don't want to go back to the status quo. We don't want things the way that they were. And Wiener saying, well, you can vote for me because I'm not like Cuomo and Trump and Adams. It's the same thing as saying, well, you can vote for me because I'm not Trump. That's not going to do it. We want platform, ideas, solutions. And you know what? If somebody would just come out and be like, yes, Medicare for all. Yes to gun control. Yes to funding education. Yes to taxing the rich. They'd do well. That was, Harris had some great ideas and they were very specific policy things. But in general, talk in a broad sense of what your vision is for the country, and we know how to pay for it. The math's been done. Ask Elizabeth Warren. She's not young, but she gets it. And this whole idea that we're supposed to respond to everything that somebody says about don't say X, don't say blah, blah, blah. It's just like, you know what? Everyone deserves the respect that being a human being and being treated the way they want to be treated and being treated like a human being. Like, we don't have to nitpick over every single issue. Just fucking be a human being. And term limits. Term limits would be so popular. Oh God. So anyway, that's my Friday rant with the whole show all mixed up together. But since we're talking about the whole thing, I didn't realize that Justina Machado was in Real Women Have Curves. I love her. I have since 6 Feet Under, which is apparently what made her family decide that it's okay, she could be an actor. She made it on a TV show. Anyway, that's Friday. That's my rant for the day. For the most part, stop wasting my money, DNC. You're never getting another penny from me again, by the way. I will support individual candidates, but I will never give any money to the DNC until they stop this fucking bullshit. But anyway, let the young people talk. Is my lesson for the day. Um, they'd get my vote.